Hello and welcome to Griefers Pub. Tonight we'll be discussing the recent news on server meshing and RMQ meshing playtests in the tech preview build. Based on the increased frequency on RMQ, I have to not say RMC. You did it that one time. Meshing test. Do you think, Elder, that we're still on track for delivering server meshing, or
Oh
do you
my
think CIG is
god.
on track for
Oh,
delivering server meshing for increased player counts?
oh my god. No, I'm sorry, man, not to distract everything, but I forgot to freaking polish my forehead. So I'm not getting the glare I was hoping to get.
I got you covered. Don't worry. Yep. We're
I
gonna
don't have
do a
any
little bit
aluminum
of
foil. I would have put that on. I would have. He made a joke. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna wear a tinfoil hat now?" And I was like, "Damn, I didn't even think of that." But we don't
yeah,
have
yeah,
any.
yeah. So we
Yeah,
were like, this is going to be like a theory crafting episode about like
yeah.
RMQ, maybe some predictions on like when we're going to see server meshing in, Star Citizen, which who knows when that's going to be. But honestly, from what we experienced last Thursday, I think we might be at a good pace right now. Elder and I, we hung out with, who was there? We had Flaro,
We had
Murph was
Flare.
there,
Yeah, Murph.
IQ was there.
Bunch of people I
Trying to
don't even
remember.
know.
Yeah, a bunch of like Pax Vox and like one LR person over there. But how do you think that test went? Like, what were your personal thoughts on the last RMQ meshing playtest?
So yeah, we were talking about it. I was honestly pretty impressed. I like
Yep.
with the progress from okay, so I didn't do the first meshing test because I was at work and then I came home and the significant other wanted attention and she comes first, obviously.
It's too hot.
Um
Sorry, I got to take it off.
yeah, he's probably sweating,
I'm
sweating
like,
bullets.
I'm sweating my
S-
like, yeah.
Sweating. You go
Mhm.
ahead, say it. Sweating what off?
Nothing, nothing. Don't worry about it.
He's sweating
Family
something off.
friendly, right?
I think I know what he's sweating off.
So,
If you
anyways,
if you hear
last week,
his voice get sorry.
last
What
week.
what
What?
what
What?
happened to my
What?
background? Oh, the light fell. You can see the pink blankets. Hold
Okay,
on.
so while you're doing that, I was going to say, can we bring up actually the last? Let's bring up the media panel because there was actually something that they were bringing
Oh yeah,
up
I didn't even
in
finish
Q.
saying what I was saying. First of all,
Yeah, yeah. Say what you're saying though. Let's hear it.
all right. So
So
basically,
last week.
yeah. So basically, I didn't get the chance to jump into the original meshing test. I'm getting a weird lag on my voice. But anyway, I didn't get to jump into the original meshing test, but I definitely heard and saw everything that people were talking about and what was going on with all that. Like, it's not like I was out of the loop with it. And
Yeah.
I was actually quite impressed with how well it was running. Now, Zari did jump into the test and attacked
Hmm.
me at 0-1. I went to fight him. Um, but I basically died before I knew what was happening. Like, there was so there's definitely
So
some desync issues.
so you're telling me it's ready, right? Like just ship it at this point.
I mean,
PvP
it's
certified, ready to
it.
go.
I will say this: it is definitely gonna. It's definitely at the point that CIG would approve of it to be used.
Like blurred out all of a sudden.
What?
No, it was just my camera. So yeah,
Oh,
I do think compared to the first test, the 1 to 100 like ratio when they first dropped the DGS like server player cap was 1 to 100 like ratio. It seemed fine, no little to no issues, I would say. I felt that it was no different than the standard PU because we're currently seeing a lot of the RMQ in the existing build, right? But then as soon as it hit I think it was the 3 to 500 ratio, I did notice a lot of like player desync. And then
yeah.
there was like that one
Oh,
to
yeah.
two
Okay.
second like input delay just
Oh,
immediately.
yeah.
And it
And
started degrading pretty fast after that.
yeah, I'm talking in regards of So what I experienced was the 500 and then the 1,000. I think it was
Yep.
6 servers at 1,000 players. I think is what it
Yep.
was.
That would have been it.
But I mean, overall, I mean, it was. I think, like Fleur, for example, he was saying like it was definitely an improvement from the last time, and I think none of us are expecting to jump in and for it to run good. Like I think you would be absolutely ridiculous to even expect that, right? Um,
Yeah.
but
I think that's super unrealistic.
yeah, it was positive progress. So I was happy about it. I mean, it's what I've been waiting for, what we've all been waiting for I don't know how long. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
of course. Can we actually bring up the All Backers Tech Preview RMQ Meshing Playtest? This is what Wikipedia had posted last Wednesday. Kind of a TLDR, as they were testing some of the like performance and stability improvements for this. They were starting off. Let's see. This test will have each Stanton shard split into many authoritative zones. We were planning to start the test out at 1 DGS with 100 players as a baseline and increase this and push as far as we can throughout the test, which they did. And honestly, yeah, it felt good.
oh,
I was
it started at 100 players. I didn't realize
started
that.
at 100 and then it slowly ramped up.
Yeah.
So that like first, few minutes to an hour, I think that's when they like initially just pushed that and then they slowly introduced more and more players into the feed. I remember it was Librarian was keeping us posted that entire evening on the player count. And I think it was like maybe an hour or 2 hours in, he had posted like 500 players on the server and was just like, oh my God, this is actually happening. This is amazing. Like that's a
Yeah.
huge step forward.
Librarian's
But
definitely
yeah,
good for that too, for the info.
they were, I mean, this is still like, we're still a long ways off. This is bare bones, no contracts, no AI spawning in for the most part, right? So it is just players.
Yeah.
And the basic servers is needed for getting to and about throughout the verse, right? But I do got to say, like as soon as we hit like 1,000, there was like visible player desync. I had one person, I think it was Flaro, just standing in one spot for a good 10 to 15 seconds, and then even then it wouldn't update the player position. It was just an invisible player running back and forth
Well,
from client to client.
it wasn't just that too. Like, for example, I think I only had Murph on my showing up on the party that I was in.
Yep.
And apparently he had logged out like 10 minutes prior and he was still sitting there. I couldn't find anyone else except for when I crossed the server border once, but they couldn't see me to jump to
Yep.
me at the border. So yeah, there was, I mean, it's some issues. I think overall though, it was still pretty impressive. I don't know.
Did you
Like,
guys ever figure out the whole server border? It was over by Aberdeen, a few hundred kilometers out, right? Something of that sort, or was it a
I
little
think
too subtle to
I
even
know
find?
they did, but I couldn't get to it. So
Okay.
I don't even know if it was actually a server board I was at, but it just like dropped me out of Quantum, and we assumed it was. But
Yeah.
come to think of it, I had a blast, right, Elder? Yeah,
Yeah, I heard you
I
guys got to
already
test out
said,
PvP and it
yeah,
was great, right?
yeah, I
How did
already joked about that, honestly. So, but yeah, I don't even know if that was a real border, and it wouldn't make sense for it to be a border because of the fact that it was like between Aberdeen and was it Hurston?
it was
Um,
Hurston, yes. Hmm.
so I doubt if there was 6 servers, I doubt there would be a border between those two locations, but rather between like the main systems, if anything. So how many systems we got? We got
Bishop is saying
Arc.
Benoit posted some stuff about server borders. Could you actually post a link in Discord for me? I would love to check that out actually
Yeah,
when you get a chance, Bishop. That's pretty cool.
do it, do it.
So maybe this is a question for everybody else and for us as well. As do you think that this is going to improve morale down the line? I feel like personally I was amped up. I was ready to see sitcon at that point. Not necessarily, that's maybe a little exaggerated, but
So
i
yeah, so
I
Rocco
feel
was
there's
saying
a
to
little
me,
bit more like confidence in the project overall. We're saying that, I think, last Thursday, but there's still a lot of skepticism regardless. Like it's going to be
yeah, I mean,
grounded
well, we
first.
all talked about it though. Like, you know how it goes, right? We're all like, yeah, right, we'll see how it goes, and we know this is gonna be whatever and blah blah blah, right? But
Yep.
they're gonna roll out sitcon. It's gonna show all this amazing stuff and all the things they're working on, right? Maybe there's gonna be a big announcement or something. I would hope so, honestly.
Pyro
But like,
coming
yeah,
November, you know.
yeah, right. Okay, yeah. Please,
Mhm.
please don't give us another pyro announcement date. My God. But but we will. I'm sure everyone can relate. Like, you'll get excited about it, and it'll be like, oh, awesome! Like, this is coming and that's coming, and like they'll totally get us fooled again. And then next year will pass, and like 30% of that will be done. Actually,
Mhm.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I think because they're working on like music and stuff for Squadron 42, right?
Yeah, if they're
It's,
at that point, that is one of the last few things that you focus on. That means that you have a lot of the cutscenes and a few other things on the project
yeah, that's kind of
kind
a
of
big
sorted
deal.
out by then. You know, that is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's because who was it that was posting that stuff? Was it Jared? I think he was posting on Twitter some of the like teasers for the symphony that they were recording with. I think it was the same as Star Wars.
I don't know who was posting it. I just know I've been seeing. I don't, is it in the news and info? It's been dropping.
News and info, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can bring that up if you want.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about it.
Well,
But
I mean, it
I
can't hurt
do
to
I
pull it
do
up. Go
feel
ahead.
no. I was gonna say the overall like vibe though. I think if they keep doing like another, yeah, they're already mentioning another like server meshing test next week. I like this community involvement, and I want to see that more and more prevalent in the development process, right?
Mm.
Because I think it does improve morale. Yes, we should still be skeptical. We should take it with a major grain of salt, just because that is kind of they've earned that reputation. They have to earn it back if they really want to. You
Yeah,
know.
that's facts. So I just jumped into VC before we started here with some guys from Elite Dangerous that I know. And
Yeah.
one of them asked me if the game was finished yet, and then the other guy laughed and was like, "That game isn't getting finished." You know what I mean? Like they earned, they
Hmm.
earned that. They
They
legitimately
did.
earned
Yeah.
that reputation. Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
Like I'm okay if people say that too. Like I'm not going to white knight a project where the development. It's not even the development where the management is just so like all over the place and like poorly thought out that
You have to
they
be
they
okay
can
with them
defend
saying it
themselves. They
because
can
it's
defend
realistic.
themselves. That's not our
It's
job.
it's just being honest at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
It's realistic to say that. It's not,
Yeah.
so
But it is a major milestone to see meshing slowly getting more and more like
refined.
noticeable progress.
Yeah,
Refined is actually the best word to use there.
yeah.
I think it is a
So
bit telling in itself, right?
I,
What were you gonna say?
okay, I don't spend a whole lot of time like watching streamers and stuff like that. But I was watching Salty Mike for a little while earlier this morning,
Hmm.
and he was saying something where he's at the point where, and I totally agree with this because I've been saying this for a little while, um, where they should just drop it and like just put it out there and let it like melt the servers, whatever, and work through it, right? And not even like roll it out like sensitive. I mean, obviously you have to use some moderation, but I agree. Like if they throw it out there, because if they test it in like the background, like EPTU or whatever tests, and they go like and they'll go up to like 1,000 on those servers, however they would do it when
Yeah.
they roll it out to us, it's gonna roll out like trash. Thank you for the foul tactical. I appreciate it. And it's like, you know what? Freaking like make sure you got a good baseline and then throw it out to us where it hurts at
Yep.
first, right? Like where things are just breaking. Just like 318,
Yeah.
persistence. Like do that and let us just work through it. Like I will be patient for that because this is something that's so worthwhile. Like this is something like we absolutely need. So
100%.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in the mind of I'm cool with that. I don't care at this point. It's not like we're missing like a good flight model or anything anyway by not being able to play. So sorry, the hate. Anyway,
Okay. I'll be back. That just put me in a sad mood
I
talking
know,
about the
right?
flight model. Yeah, we were done talking about. We talked all flight model stuff last week. We're gonna
Yeah,
just leave that to the crippling depression and just get away from that. I was gonna say
crippling.
what.
Right?
I mean, you fly around, exactly what I'm talking about.
I do. Yeah.
So I do think that like just to kind of recap that we're at a good point. I want to see them push it further and further. Like you said, I don't even want to see like Wave One or EPTU or like Evocati. I want to see them doing it with the tech preview channel like they are doing, because then you
Yeah.
get the interest.
Oh,
Then
okay.
it's
I see what you're
public
saying.
and everybody sees it.
Yeah.
It's good to like generate like proper hype, and it shows people that hey, we are actually going to achieve this more or less.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. When I like I said, once they get it stable enough to be able to run it like at a reasonable with reasonable stability and like Evocati and stuff like that, just freaking drop it on us, make it
Just
hurt.
push it, yeah.
I don't
So
care.
I was going to say, speaking of which, I'd like to shuffle onto what exactly server meshing is and why it's necessary.
Mhm.
Like it's a necessary obstacle for Star Citizen. It was actually something that this is actually a great tool for showing the unofficial road to dynamic server meshing. It's a great resource which follows the steps and development of server meshing in itself, right? And it kind of shows what progress has already been done. It shows the original one. This is way back in 2017, by the way, was object container. It's one of the like foundational tech
Yeah.
items that they needed for this. And then we
Yeah.
start to see client object container streaming, server object container streaming. And I think this might be a little bit more like where you kind of came in like 318, right? Or like previous to 318, I think.
When I came in? Yeah,
You
I
came
came
in. This would
prior.
have
I
been like
came prior to 318. Yeah, yeah. I came.
okay,
What year is it? 24. So I guess I came in 2021. I think.
yeah,
I actually
that
want to
would have
see.
been
I
like
want to
a
look it up. I want to look it up.
yeah.
But go ahead. What are you saying? Continue, please,
I was
sir.
gonna say like
Sir,
the one
please.
that like comes to the back of my mind all the time is persistent entity streaming, and actually being a lot more active during that time and seeing that whole process, getting locked out of accounts, seeing the whole mess that it was,
A
and how
hundred.
far we've come
Literally
from that point,
unplayable.
right?
Literally
Yeah.
unplayable. Like literally unable to log in for the first week.
hmm I
Yeah.
remember that.
Hmm.
But it shows like all of the like subsections, like the major tech is up here, the minor tech's down below. We've already gotten object container client and server object container streaming, and then persistent entity streaming, which was a huge one, really broke a lot of stuff, and then really had them starting to get more of those like physical items and inventories, like proper shard managers, replication layers, which is one of the latest ones that I think we've seen.
Hmm.
And now we're slowly shuffling over to static server meshing. So, I mean, this is again like a great resource to keep track of where things are kind of at. Again, it's not by CIG, but it's really well put together, I'd say.
Oh, who put that
Um,
together? Where'd that come from?
Let me double check. It is by Unobtainium and Star Citizen Community. Last updated June 12th, by the way.
There was, I don't, geez, where did I hear this now? I forget. I don't know if this was in the news and info, but there was a mention too of CIG taking like the track, like, I don't know if it's player tracking or something off, like off the server and put it on like a separate, now.
You're talking about the like for the roadmap, the progress tracker was taken off entirely, or are we
No,
referring
no,
to
no,
something
that's not
else?
what I mean. Um, No, that's not what I'm talking. Oh, here it is. Markers are actually something we are working on for 4.0, moving an entity tracking to a service and not the game servers, so you can track things across servers.
hmm
Now, I
And that
wonder.
that doesn't that rely on like authoritative zones, I believe. I'm not 100% like familiar with all this. This is a lot of this actually goes over my head. I'm not like a space tomato by any means, or someone that actually knows what the heck they're talking about. But it is kind of interesting to you know track this stuff. I think right now we're seeing a lot of progress being done with like entity zones. The first time that I'd seen the word like zones mentioned on the servers was actually last Thursday, I believe,
Mhm.
when we were reading through the console and had like our display info open and showed all of that like detail up above. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, what the hell? I just lost everything.
Yep, I see. Um,
You're
but
you're good though. It didn't. I was afraid I lost the whole stream, but I didn't.
it's
So
okay. It's okay.
yeah.
But with that being said, I think right now we're seeing static server meshing taking precedent. Like it's taken priority in a lot of like projects because it is that baseline tech that we need to see in the verse, so it can have that player cap of 1,000
Oh
or even like pyro at that point, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's the dynamic server meshing that we're trying to get to, right?
hmm Right.
But I mean, at this point, I mean, obviously, we want the static server meshing anyway, so we can start really ramping up those numbers. Like I heard
Right.
somebody saying that, oh, they should, they feel like they should start it with like only 200 players across, Pyro
No,
and
push it right from the start. You gotta
no,
just really
yeah,
stress that.
I disagree with that entirely because it's like if they go easy on the servers, it's just think about it. When do they get the most work done? It's when they put something out and the thing just crashes everything, and
Hmm.
falls apart, and then that's
That's
when
when
they
you get
stop
your data.
patching. Yeah, that's
Yep.
exactly. And I think Z could also would agree with this too, but it was on one of the Inside Stars. It was a Star Citizen Live, I forget, but they were talking about how they have these new ways of tracking, um, like the issues and all that, and being able to see what's happening now. So
Hmm.
you want all that heavy data coming in of why everything's crashing. I mean, think about it. They couldn't
Wish I
even
could.
get they couldn't even get the meshing test to launch last week, and I took like 5 days,
Hmm.
right? And they
Yeah,
figured out
because
what it was and
it
got it
was it
running.
was like bottlenecking. It was supposed to be up for what, like 24 hours, and they brought it down a lot sooner because there was
Yeah.
just no point at that. Like,
No,
right,
not
right.
even that. I'm talking about before the first time we were all in the channel waiting for it to launch,
Oh yeah,
and then
because it
they
was delayed that
canceled
one
it.
night,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
I remember that.
So, they already got that settled. I mean, I'm just glad to see this movement,
Mhm.
Is there any way we can take off slow mode? We don't have that many people in the chat.
I can take it off. Yeah,
I
just give
don't
me a
know how
sec.
to take
I
that
got
off.
it.
Sorry.
This is why I don't mod.
Yeah, get
So
better.
hard.
I gotta learn how
There
to
you go.
mod.
Oh, I was
Um,
gonna bring this up. This is from way back when, if you guys remember this stuff. This is
what is
server
it?
meshing and persistent streaming. I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay.
This is from way back in, I think it was 2021. Yes, at CitizenCon 2951. This is stuff that's been in the works. Now the long version, the road to server meshing started back in 2017 and 2018. Just kind of put that in perspective, like how long it's been. It's been almost 7 years that they've been trying to work on this tech. And it's
What the server meshing tech?
just
So
like everything that they've like started on. Like in 2018, that's when they started the object container streaming. I'm just gonna bring this up
okay.
because it's all visual and it's all right there.
Hmm.
And then they started working on the entity authority and authority transfer. This is for certain items, such as, where was it? A good example would be actually, I think it was Z that actually mentioned like chat services, missions, transit, markers, stuff like that. That isn't like on the actual server. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Replication layer, persistent streaming, which we've seen recent in the last few years, and then static. I'm just kind of like rambling, I know, a little bit here, but
Oh no,
bear
you
with me. Do
good.
you
Yeah.
think that we're at a point that we could say it's realistic to predict an increase in server population caps maybe sometime late 2024, early 2025, if they continue this progress that we're seeing right now?
I think early 2025. That's my guess.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm
we're
going to
already
actually start a poll because this could be fun.
yeah, I feel like we're already kind of late into the year too. What's going on, Uncle Pork Chop? By the way, guys, just to throw it out there, if you want to jump into a call or you have some comments or whatever, feel free to join the Discord. I put the link in the chat, and we can pull you in. Just go into the waiting room in the Discord. All right.
Just don't
Um,
ask any questions that I don't know about, like server meshing. This is not like my like topic, like forte. Like I'm not good
yeah,
with this kind of
I mean,
information.
we're just talking about it, right? I mean, we're
Mm,
we're players just like everyone else, right? And we enjoy the game. We want to play the game. We're hoping for these big things. The game is like literally they've been selling ships that are designed for higher than 100 pop server count, right? I mean, the
mhm.
game is meant for like large scale. Like this is the way they want the game to be to begin with, right? And this is a step in the right direction. Now they definitely need to get what's the word I'm looking for? The game itself is not well optimized. So imagine being on like you know a server that can allow more than 1,000 people and all of them in the same place or same area at the same time. What that will do to your computer? I'm
Mhm.
honestly afraid of melting my computer. So
Yep. No, that makes sense. Um, so you're mentioning like the 1,000 player count. They're trying to create these infrastructures, isn't essentially for like larger player caps. Do you think that's why they really pushed the flight model the way they did, so they could actually track everything a little bit easier?
no,
Especially if, like we saw like how bad the
I don't think
desync
so.
was.
mesh
Okay.
this. I don't think that's why they did that. I think they just don't. I'm gonna be nice. I don't
You be
think.
nice.
I don't think they. I don't know. I just think they just weren't sure how to roll it out. They pretended to be working on it for years, and really it was like, all right, we gotta get this out like soon, and started working on it abruptly or yeah. I
I
don't think it was.
feel like
I don't think it had anything to do with tracking or none of that stuff at all. I think it
okay.
was just
Yeah, that's fair. That's
poor
fair.
planning, if anything.
So what do you think server meshing will ultimately look like for the PvP community? That's what I'm wondering. It's kind of a tough one, I think, because you're going to have like a ton of people. Can you imagine how bad like Everest is right now with what 4 or 5 clients in a single area with a ton of AI? Imagine if they did like Blockade Runner with that like 500, 1,000 player cap. It's going to be a mess, right? Just stutterfest unless they like properly optimize it.
FYI, we got Z sitting in the waiting room if you want to
Yeah,
pull him
yeah, yeah.
in.
Let's bring him in. Let's bring him in. Hey, what's up, Z?
The excitement. He's like, yeah,
I like talking to Z.
yeah.
He's good. He's good company. How you doing,
Bring
dude?
it, Z, bring
Doing all
it.
right, man. All right, so I had
What's your question?
a couple questions for you guys. All right, starting off, we all know we've been told a million different things that server meshing is going to be like the holy grail. It's going to be the Jesus patch. It's going to be all this stuff. We, a lot of people have been in the community for a while know that there's a huge chance it's probably not going to be all things to all people. But
Yeah.
what are we trying to really get for this? Like, are we really wanting increased player count or increased stability as our primary gain from getting server meshing day one?
Both. I mean, are you
I
are you
would.
asking me
That's a good
specifically,
question.
or I mean, both of us specifically, or are you just is that like more of a rhetorical question?
It's a little bit of both because, like, if you had to choose one, and you could only get one, it's increased stability or player count. What would you say? Put all of our eggs into this basket on. Like, which one would you choose?
I would focus on stability, 100%.
Yeah, yeah, I would say definitely stability because
Because as soon as you
wait,
have that, you've got a good like foundational baseline for the rest of the work. You can slowly start to push the population count further and further. You know,
yeah, I mean, what's the point of having a large server count if the game runs like trash? Realistically, you know what I mean? So sorry, I
Yeah.
got the wrong thing on there.
No,
You
that's
know what I
just
mean?
that's
So
one
like,
question.
yeah, I
Yeah.
100%. I think like the first thing we'd want is stability. But here's the thing, right? So I'm saying just to push it through and put like just freaking overload the server and like put all this. That the reason why I say that isn't because I necessarily just want the high player count. It's because I want them to stress the shit out of it so they can figure out how to get that stability sooner than later. Because
the
I
data
just
that
don't
they
think
actually need.
easing
Yeah.
into it. Yeah, that's
Mm.
my. I mean, that's my theory on it. I know. Like I said, when 318 was dropped and the persistent entity streaming, and they finally pushed it to live because they couldn't get the. I specifically remember them saying that they need more people to test the PTU and they couldn't get it. When they did that and they finally pushed it out and they set the servers on fire, they they went to town patching it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I
Yeah.
just
A lot of probably lonely nights for some of those developers. They probably couldn't see their families for a couple days.
good. We're more important. Sorry.
Absolutely.
I
All right,
apologize for
Elder.
that. Don't CIG. I'm just
Never
kidding. I want
happened.
you guys to have happy lives.
The one CIG dev that watches you guys are now like, yeah, well, that's it.
Well,
Um,
that's goodbye.
Yeah, they're like,
right.
let's make sure the game doesn't run just to spite Grief's pub with their, 36 viewers.
So Z, here's a question for you. Do you
Go ahead.
think if they focused with the like performance first, do you think we'd see server meshing sooner, or is ultimately the goal to increase that player count from the start? I think honestly that is what they're trying to do. So it makes more sense to do that the more I think about it.
I think you gotta look at it in two different forks, right? So I think
Hmm.
the guys that are like Ben Wall and them, I think they're looking at it as it's a goal to increase player count to reduce our cost for servers from Amazon,
Yep.
because for every server they spin up for 100 people, It's a lot of money depending on how much hardware you put into it, right? But
That's
on
a
the
good
other
point.
side, is that they have all these features that are supposed to be in Squadron 42 that they've told us, and almost every single one of their devs teams have told us they cannot put into the game because the current servers cannot handle it. And
Mhm.
so they want stability. So there's two forks in the road. Is we
Mm,
push for an unstable release with a
Experience.
high player count, or we
Yep.
push for unstable release with a lot of features. And I think the road for Benoit is trying to find a happy medium, and he's just doing the best he can at this point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Hang on.
Um,
I gotta put this on for flare
by
up.
the way, thanks for the follow star jump. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
Okay, we're back to colors. So
Il
let's talk.
Gaper.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go.
I love how good
Right.
he got the point on that too.
Yeah, it took a little bit of like work, but I got it. So my thought here, I'm gonna put on my my CIG hat here, and I'm gonna say that we're gonna have it rolled out by like end of 2024. You know, we're gonna start seeing the PTU like with the increased populations end of 2024. That's super optimistic, right? But if they have as many delays as their reputation really has, we're gonna see it more toward, like you said, Elder, Q1 2025. I wanted to put this on
Well,
for
okay.
Pyro really
So
quick.
wait. You think that you're gonna start seeing it in late 2020? I mean, where we're at basically late 2024.
Yep.
Um,
Hmm.
I will say this. I do feel like they want to do that because they want to go into when is SitCon? SitCon is like dropping next month, isn't it? Or not next
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I feel like they wanted more progress for SitCon.
I think so too.
And what they're doing is they're really ramping up to push that out, right?
No, so they're going to focus on Squadron 42 this year because look at the promotional stuff that they've got in the
Well,
goodies
yeah, I
pack.
agree with that.
It is
Yeah,
Squadron 42. So it's not, the theme is going to be, let's not talk about Pyro because Pyro's almost here and we've already talked about that. You can't
yeah, over and over again.
extend that any further.
Next
It's going to
year,
be
Pirate
that's going to
next
be,
year.
it's going to be a marketing nightmare if you try to do
Yeah.
that. So,
Uncle Pork Chop saying pop increased by the end of December. I mean, that'd be
I could see
awesome.
that. I could actually see that. Whether it
Wait
be
a
like
minute,
3
hold on. Isn't the election like? So no, I probably what's going to happen is that everything's going to shut down because of the election or something. And, oh, I'm sorry. Let me. Should I put the tinfoil hat on? I'm sorry. Forgive me.
tinfoil hat. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
The upcoming Pyro
Yes,
system.
upcoming
Or the,
pyro. How many times do you hear that upcoming pyro system?
Now I'm gonna need to borrow
The
one
re-
of those hats from you because I have my own kind of theory on this. I
Let's hear
feel
it.
like as they get towards the end of the year, we're seeing massive server meshing tests that we haven't seen before. I mean, we wanted this 8 months ago,
Yeah.
but every week we're having these massive tests, and these aren't cheap tests for them because I don't know what their contract is, but every time they spin up 7 or 8 or however many of these servers they spin up, there's an
Mhm.
egress cost. There's basically the bandwidth and downloading and transitioning and creating these servers. There's a cost.
It
to them
can't be
to do
cheap.
this. Yeah,
It can't be
it's
cheap at
not.
all.
And they've even alluded to the fact that it's not cheap. But the fact that they're doing these on a weekly basis tells me that it's a 318 moment for them. It
I
tells
want
me
to.
that they're pushing hard for it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's what we're
and
gonna see. It's gonna-
I do want to jump on this comment too. Mixed Snake Face, awesome name by the way.
I think we're going
I
to
think
get weekly test for meshing, and we will probably see a 3.24 PTU with meshing by SitCon.
Yeah,
Hmm?
I
You
can
think so?
see that. I mean, I have to put another tinfoil hat on because I don't think we can ever have enough. But you said it before. If you look at the fact that they're kind of sitting in this really bad place of a marketing nightmare,
Yep. Pretty
I'm
much.
sure they want to get out something because we look at what they did for the 3.24. 3.24 was 3.22 point patch, right?
Yep.
They separated it and we had such a long-term duration, they couldn't get another meaningful patch in the year, so they wanted to have an additional patch to come out and say, look, we got 4 big ones in or 3 big ones in, right? But
Yep.
really it was 2.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one of
Yeah.
those things they could do at the end of the year to kind of spin it and a little marketing here, a little tweak, a little polish, a little elbow rub. And then they can say, look, we did a server meshing test. We're almost there. We're not quite yet. So February, Pyro 4.0, something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Pyro 2025, I still believe.
I will
Right.
say this. If they like get all this shit going. All right, well, like Big Snake Face said, if they have like a PTU meshing by sitcom, like that would be really cool. But like if we were to see like a functioning type of meshing with like an increased player count as well, not where me and you, Z, technically we fought, not like
Mhm.
that type of situation, but where
Which
you can
Elder,
actually.
listen, Elder. You can just admit that you lost a fight with
I
Z.
did lose
Okay,
a
you
fight. It
don't have
was.
to say, "Oh, it
I
was
never said.
invisible
I
player
never said
async."
it
I'm
was server related. I couldn't even see him because he was so fast in his F8. I think. Oh no, he was an F7, wasn't he? He was just
yeah.
so fast. He was like, I don't know if anybody watched Dragon Ball Z, like instant transmission. You know what I mean? Like pew pew pew,
Yep,
and I was dead.
he's just suddenly
Anyway,
there.
but like, I mean, where you can actually like effectively play, where there's like all that extra traffic, even if it's just in stand, like that'd be awesome, man. And
Yeah,
I like,
that would be
and
nice.
like, and if we start seeing like all this great progress, and like next year we got like some real meshing going on, I'm willing, and I will say this, I am willing to forgive all of CIG's sins.
Okay.
By the
On that sin comment, I had one more question before I go.
Mhm.
yeah,
Let's hear it.
All right. My last question is: do you think, because we've been told this for years, about the content, they have all this content, they can't put it in, but they're just waiting for server meshing to come out. Do you think the content ramp up is real, and that they are waiting on server meshing, the final piece to this massive puzzle, to come in place, and we're going to be hit with a deluge of just content after content, new things, all kinds of stuff? Do you feel like that's a thing? Is that something that's going to
but wait,
happen?
can I ask you real quick? Do you mean like it's waiting, like it's already there, but it's just waiting to be released? Or do you mean
Like,
like they're gonna all of a sudden start rolling
Simple
out
answer
more
is yes to
content?
that. Simple answer is yes. We've already
yeah.
seen that they have a
Wait,
lot
wait,
of
wait,
stuff
wait. Yeah,
on Pyro.
but I gotta understand
Okay.
what the.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
hear it.
specify.
So
What do you mean?
all right, so yeah, in a way, yes, tier 0 version of all these systems, but now they have the ability to go back to like mining and salvaging and scanning and all this other stuff and do like tier 1, tier 2 version of them
Okay,
and
all
kind of
right.
really bring
Mhm.
them up to pass.
In that case, yeah, I agree with that. What that frag
I
said.
would say yes because what we're going to see is it's going to be an incomplete Pyro. It's going to be how Stanton felt for a long time when we only had, Crusader and then it was Hurston. And it's going to release one planet at a time because that is just how they progress and that's how they do things. We're going to have those first three planets right off the bat. I don't know how much progress they've had on the others, but we haven't seen any promotional material for that yet. So I
Yeah,
think that one's still like on hold. Like it's still going to be a placeholder. It's going to be in the distance. You'll see it, but you can't actually go to it. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I just wanted to just a couple comments. Joe Bishop, my tinfoil hat tells me that Pyro might be in Evocati by the end of the year. I love hearing this stuff. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
yeah. This year's Sicon has nothing to do with the new ship. What is that? New ship PRN? Because they have
Ship
nothing
porn,
else to
porn,
talk about.
ship porn,
Oh,
ship
ship
porn.
point. Okay, I have nothing else to talk about that they already promised last year. Yeah, I'd be surprised. They got a good marketing team. They'll figure something out, I'm sure. They have
What
to put
content will
out.
come with 4.0? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think what we'll see is that, very, very limited Pyro, but we're going to see the jump point. I think we will have some sort of, server meshing to some capability. I don't know if it'll be a 500.
Ooh.
This. Okay, hang on.
Sorry. No, wait, hold on. I think we
I
will
really
see
need this
Nyx
now
at
because
sitcom.
I feel like this is
It is
really
very
necessary.
necessary, but dude, you're
Yeah.
gonna get hot
Okay.
again. You got to
Okay.
put an AC facing right at you. But
Yeah.
no,
At some
no.
point.
I think we will see Nyx at SitCon as well. That's a good theory, and I'm willing to bet they have another system that's more further along than we know about.
I
I
do
don't
need to
know.
interrupt. I do need
Yeah.
to interrupt. Carl, beans on toast is disgusting. Get out of here.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah. So official
Quite a
Griffith's
few.
Pub stance on beans on toast is it's a no go, and also that Carl Kaput is no longer allowed in this chat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Goodbye.
Ban these fuckers. Oh,
You can't ban me. Oh look, allow or deny. Should I deny that
I allowed
comment?
it. I allowed it.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. That's funny.
But with that being said, that's just my stance on it. It's overly optimistic and massive grain of salt. I think quarter 1 is a little bit more realistic, but if they're able to keep the pace that we're seeing right now, there is a better chance that we see server meshing actually
Yeah.
into the verse by like late December, maybe
Um.
quarter 1, like January when they get back
Yeah.
from break.
Just to throw it out there, Flair is actually in
Yeah,
the
we should say
follow
goodbye to
queue.
Z. Z, we'll talk later.
Bye.
We'll
Thank
have a
you.
lot of stuff to say. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for the questions. Now get out.
I'm not completely opposed to him coming back as a caller as well if he wants. I don't care either
Sure,
way. Oh,
that's fine with me.
let me
Okay,
get rid.
I got Flaro. Flaro, how's it going?
Tired. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I've got my tinfoil hat. We're talking about server meshing, and it's great so far.
Yeah, bro. The net ping of like 500 to 2,000, dude.
Yeah, that was, but it was an improvement though. It really was, right?
From the
Definitely
previous
was.
test.
Yeah. From the previous test, yeah, big improvement. But seeing IQ being like in one position and then you being stuck in the Karex like floor was ridiculous.
You know what? I think it was planned all along. I think you just were gonna shove me. So during the test, this was my experience. We were going from like point A to point B in the spacecraft quite a bit, and then when we did the reset or the reset happened, I got onto the Carrack and then I got stuck in the floorboards of the Carrack's like top floor. I was just sticking that, with my head like kind of peering through. IQ tried to like kill me or like incap me to get me out, but then I just ended up being stuck in the floors, even further. So it was typical like CIG kind of stuff.
Yeah. We did find that border though, the server border.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that, if you would. Because
Well, yeah, you were stuck in the ground, but IQ and I, it took us like what, 30 minutes to find it?
easily, probably like 30, 45.
Because
It wasn't where I was at either, right? It was in a totally different spot.
No, we found it though. Ben Wall even said that the authentication like serial number or whatever is supposed to change when you transition, but it didn't. Like he said, it was a bug, so that's why we couldn't see it. It was like we have to like find it. Sometimes we can just get pulled out of quantum, but that didn't happen in our case. But the way we did
No,
find it
yeah.
though is we got put out of nav mode. For some reason, when you switch between servers, you get put from nav to SCM, and your quantum goes back up online. It's so weird. But once we found it,
kind of makes sense. But isn't the replication layer supposed to like prevent things like that from happening? Because it's supposed to be like a seamless transition due to replication layer, correct?
Yep.
yeah. The minute IQ and I got out of the Carrack, though, we were gone from the Carrack. Like I think we were like a kilometer or two away from the ship, which is crazy. And the same thing. So what's crazy is like even before like the recent test that we were getting, the one that we had 6 or 7 months ago, when you were at the border, you could actually see the ship like move just slightly off, and then when you go within that server where the ship is, it will stop moving. But the minute you come out of it to the server next to it, it will start to like kind of like in quote orbit around the planet, which was like really interesting. But in this case, the minute you get out of the ship into the server border, you're like, you get like slingshots across the freaking space. And I'm wondering if that's just because of our net ping, and also just like delay and stuff. Like the server's trying to be like, oh my god, he has to be in this position, but I can't calculate it like because there's already so much stuff happening. So therefore, they're going to be there.
Wait, what is 1,000 worked? 1,000 mesh worked good. 6 to 4 planets, 2 backdrops. 500, 4
so
and 3 planets, 1 backdrop.
That's the 6 servers for like 1,000 like mesh.
What does he mean 2 backdrops?
2 backdrops. Exactly that. That's what that means.
Backdrop. What is it? What does he mean by backdrop? I don't understand. Like, what is backdrop?
Server shard splits is what he's referring to.
Yeah, when we were doing the test, there was three servers individually, if I'm not mistaken. But I feel like it was 3 servers handling 1 planet. Because I think even Ben White even said it on Spectrum. Like one server was handling 1 planet, 1 server was handling the other planet, and the other one was like another. But the 4th one was handling ArcCorp, the Spacescape, and like some other stuff.
Yeah.
But like this is where we got confused. Do you remember when he was talking about how like I have the screenshot. Hang on. Maybe someone can figure this out because I have no clue.
Like how it was like split up, right? Is that what you're talking about?
The tree.
I can bring that up. I think I actually have that image.
Yeah,
let me see if I got it really quick. The tree, I got it right here, actually. Give me a second. I'm going to increase this so we can actually see the whole thing, though.
Yeah, so like if
Um,
Microtech had its own server, does that mean the moons within Microtech belong to that server like a tree? You know what I mean?
that's a
They're the
really good
leaves.
question. Yeah,
Because he was also
here
like he
is.
was referring to the leaves as well.
hmm So I do have that image up, Elder, if you want to switch
Oh
us over
yeah.
to the
I'm
media
sorry.
panel.
I'm over here spacing out. Don't mind
That's all
me.
good. So this tree, right? Is this what we're talking about?
Yeah, this tree.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So is this is what they, because those are all separate servers. So is this what they plan on trying to roll out, like for static server meshing at first?
I think so. Yeah. Like I don't know. Like right now, like looking at this tree is just so, like after what he said, I got so confused.
That's what I was
Um,
trying to figure out too. I was listening to a couple of like, different videos this afternoon. And honestly, I should have had the tinfoil hat because it was just like, what the hell am I actually listening to? Like I don't know the first thing about networking. So, it was
Yeah.
interesting trying to
Yeah.
take that
Couldn't
in.
pretend
I
to know
have
anything.
I have the quote when I asked him. So my question to him was, with the release of server meshing, each
hmm
moon's planet and station will be split into its own server. I asked him
Yeah.
like how about that? How do you envision that and stuff like that? And he replied with saying, at Flare, the subdivisions from a network standpoint can go down very deep in the tree if needed, but other game systems can't handle that at the moment. So like confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding. No kidding.
Hmm.
um, yeah, no, it's really interesting. He also brought up saying like, because he also said, and I'll quote him again. Someone asked earlier if the root server crashes, what happens? Is exactly the same as a leaf crashes. The crash is detected and reported to players. The provisioning system requests a new server for that territory, and when he's online, he picks it up. For players in that zone, they see the server error until the server comes back online and starts replicating again.
Yeah. So that means that only the people within that, what did you say, root server, they're the only ones that would experience the outage, but the others still can continue to function as normal.
Yeah. So,
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
he referred to the leaf. If a leaf crashes, so like if we're looking at this diagram right now, so if Hurston is its own server,
Yeah.
does that mean Magda, Ariel, Aberdeen, and Eder are the leaves of
That's
the
the way
tree?
I'm understanding it,
That's what
honestly.
I'm
You can
understanding
see
too,
how it's
because
linked
it's
off
like,
of it,
yeah.
or is, or are those all leaves, right? Because they're all
No, these are
connected.
branches. These are branches here. These are the leaves.
Oh, jeez. Maybe they should just
Because this is all purple.
just
These
speaking
are
with the formality type or whatever. It's like maybe
no,
they
but
should have just
seriously,
said what it
that's how they
was,
work.
right? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
No, okay. No, I'm not commenting on you saying it. I mean,
Yeah, I know what you're saying though.
this
It's
is
not
because
very
this
clear at
was
all.
created by CIG, right? This is a CIG diagram, isn't it?
This is
Yeah.
from CitizenCon from I think 2021. Yes.
Is it?
Yeah. Is anybody a networking major here?
Hop
Everything
into
in
the
this
chat if you are,
is.
please, because our smooth brains can't figure it out.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Olefty said everything in this system is in one server, but then separate servers can take authority over specific volumes within it. So everything is captured by one DGS, but then separate DGSs take bytes out of it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, how about this? Just so you know, you can join the call as a caller if you join the Discord if you want
You can
to.
explain it a little bit better because
Yeah.
I feel like it's not processing like 100%. It's I'm sorry. Like even
Yeah.
I did a lot of research this last week and all this,
Brains
and I
hurt.
still feel like it goes right over my head, like 100%.
Yeah. Like I just I'm looking at just like our play, just comparing the two tests that we did. Like my smooth braid is like, yes, second one worked ish. The first one was bad.
Right. So
First
yeah,
one bad.
yeah. But if you do jump into the server and then you go into the waiting room and we can pull you into the as a live caller. So feel free to jump in. But yeah, dude, I know Flare. Like I'm definitely not a networking guy by any means, not even close. So it's like I have this like caveman understanding of how a wheel works, you know.
Here, this is actually from the Q&A where they were talking about this. I'm trying to figure out where it was though. Where it was talking about like the authority zones. Where exactly was that? Just give me a
Oh,
second.
dude,
I had this
Irate
one-
Caveman just joined the server and he has the Napster logo. That's awesome. That brought me
There you
right
go.
back to like middle school or something, or high school.
Do you want to drag him into the channel if he's gonna pop in?
Well,
That'd
he's not in
actually
the
be really-
waiting room. He just jumped into the server though.
Oh, gotcha. That's cool. All right. So what was? I feel like that just again went right over my head. I am not a networking major in the first place. But what was the actual question that you may have had, or is it something that you want to share about the
Oh,
Yes, I
oh,
remember LimeWire.
I already forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I think like one point that Zari brought up about like if content is being held back because of server meshing. I'm like 50-50 with this. I'm gonna be real. I believe yes, the hopium within me is like yes, that we'll probably get more content, but that also will depend on how they design the missions. I don't want more like point A to point B missions.
well,
Like, oh, go pick up this box,
yeah,
and
no,
you
I
know what I
know.
mean. Go
We
pick up
talked
this box,
about
go do
that.
this. Yeah, like I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want more dynamic missions.
See, I was gonna say, well, they have a separate team or a department altogether that would work on missions, so they should be still doing. But then I realized that they have this weird management where they just take people, they pluck people out of one department
They
and
put
say,
them
"You're
in, like,
now this department." But what do you normally do? You normally work on A, B, and C. Well, now you're gonna work on Z. You know what I mean? So I guess I couldn't say that. I couldn't say that like it's that they're still there working on it. I don't know. I think that's what they do though. They pluck people out of departments and say, now you're working on this project.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Lefty's actually putting a lot of really good like points in chat.
Okay.
About
And
server
so
meshing.
what Benoit meant about the servers
Benoit?
being able to scale down. Benoit?
Wait, hold on. You're not
French.
reading the previous one.
Okay, so one other thing to say, the whole game is built out of zones, just volumes of space. That's the object container tech. All of Stanton's system is one big volume, and each planet is a volume. Each moon and station is a volume. Landing zones are volumes. And
Split into
then
object
it
containers.
says,
Yeah, that makes sense.
so being able to scale those to very small spaces like a station, those volumes are defined, but the game runs on a lot of different services that just don't scale all the way down. Okay,
Yeah.
that was actually pretty well said.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you. I
These zones
appreciate
are
that.
all nested so they can stream in and out assets as you approach. So, okay, so anytime there's someone that's interacting with them, there was actually a video for this. I think it was the sitcom video. I do remember there was a whole presentation. Let me bring that up really quick. It'll be a second.
Yeah, object container streaming is a
Okay.
big freaking tech, and then with that came network bind calling. I remember that back in 3.0 era, like
Yeah, I remember that too.
3.3. Yeah, because that's when Hurston came out.
3.3, yeah. Give me 1 second. So share this tab.
Wait, eventually ships could become owned. Yeah, I know. That's dynamic
Volume.
server meshing, right? Where basically if you pull out a large ship, I'm sure it's going to be like depending on the size of it, right? But if it's like a large ship that can cruise so many people, that ship
Although, do you wanna
itself
go to
becomes
the media panel when you get a chance.
yeah,
Got
that
visuals up.
ship becomes its own server,
This is what
which
they were
I
talking
can't
about.
like which sounds insane because like it's like so basically you're flying in a server through a server, right? Like so you would have let's say you had a very large scale battle, right, with two capital ships with like I don't know, let's say hundreds of people on each ship. You got two separate servers fighting each other within a server. You know what I mean? Like, is it really possible? Like, I'm having a hard time really
Volumes
comprehending
equal
that that's
zones, all my
possible.
comments. That's what he's talking about. Okay.
Dynamic
That
server
makes more
meshing
sense.
would be dynamically assigning service to volumes depending on the load in that volume. Volumes equal zones in all my comments. Gotcha. So when you enter a ship, you're entering a zone that can move in space. It's but it's like
And
mind blown.
that's handled by the authority zone, right? Okay, that makes sense. I got it.
In a nutshell, big tech, complex.
Mm-hmm.
Holy, yeah, that's so complex.
Yeah, that I mean, it still feels like it's kind of going over my head. Like visually, I understand what's going on, but
Yeah.
the whole actual process behind it feels like it's way too
I mean,
complicated. to
so
kind of
so
comprehend.
dynamic server meshing is the thing that's never been done before. That's like right? That's like the new tech.
Right
the
now, we're
dynamic
working on.
portion.
They're working on static server meshing, and
No,
then
no,
they
no,
can
no, no.
shuffle over.
I understand,
Right.
but I mean, in general, like they've never, nobody's ever done dynamic server meshing before, right? This is basically a figment of CIG's imagination until they accomplish it. Correct?
That's a good question because I don't even know. Like, all I know, like from other MMOs, like there's instancing, right? We could
Yeah.
enter. You go from like one place to, like, for example, if me and Deadfrag were playing Elder Scrolls Online, and he was in Wayrest, and even though he's in Wayrest and I'm in Wayrest, but I can't see
Yep.
him until I teleport to him. Therefore, I'm entering his instance. So like,
Yeah.
there's that. But
Mm.
like with the whole like server meshing, dynamic meshing, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like this is like CIG's like once they actually like successfully do this, it would be a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
For like
Yeah.
the gaming industry. But I know Ashes will create. So apparently, here's a fun fact: Dune Awakening apparently is doing server meshing too.
They're doing their
And-
own like version of it, right? That's
Yeah,
what I was
and Ashes of
understanding.
Creation talked about it as well.
Hmm.
So
It
I'm
would
wondering if this
just-
is. Go ahead.
I don't know. Please finish. I was
Oh,
thinking out loud.
like I don't think this like in the industry this is something new, right? They've always been talking about it. And there's probably been like smaller iterations of it. I just think it's just
Yeah.
becoming much more prominent now with the advancement of tech and so on.
So the thing that amazes me though is that like they literally built this game. I don't think this is originally how it started, but it got to a point where they started building this game assuming they were going to accomplish this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's kind of insane to put that much stock into something that hasn't been done. You know what I mean? Saying it's going to be done, and they're building the game based on that. Like that to me, that is pretty just crazy.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's kind of ridiculous too. But I mean, if they do it, then hey, freaking, it's it's
You know,
amazing.
More power to them. Like real
While
talk.
server meshing is a huge big deal and dynamic meshing, at the end of the day, it's what content they're going to deliver to us as players to make the game fun.
Yeah, facts,
You know,
facts. Yeah, it's a
like
game
right
still.
now, yeah, like exactly, like right now, like don't get me wrong, dude. I mean, they even said like Benoit and apparently like in Pipeline, they said that in Salty Mike's stream that they're
Mhm.
doing a meshing test next week. So so you can tell like yeah they're gonna do it next week, probably the week after, and it's gonna be improved because we saw the second one how much it improved from the last one, right? Because
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
first one you couldn't even open a door, you couldn't even get out of your like anything, you were stuck.
Hmm.
While the second one you could actually move and get out of things, but the net ping was so bad that you were just teleporting around with your friends.
Right.
So I'm hoping for the third one, we shall see, they get the tinfoil hats up, that the net ping will be fixed, and that
Yeah, I got this one for you, Elder.
oh thank you that the net
Yep.
ping will be
Okay.
fixed,
Thanks.
and the interaction delay would be a lot better. If
Yeah.
if that happens on the third one, that's pretty crazy. But of course it would depend, right? Like if they're still going to shoot for the 3 to 500 ratio and then the 6 to 1,000. So we'll see.
So a couple of things. Uncle Pork Chop, RMQ replication message queuing has to work before server meshing can go any further. It's just a lot riding on all this. I think the philosophy is that it can be done, but the unknown is whether it will perform at scale, and in no case will it. And in no case will it meet player expectations, in my opinion. People's expectations are off based, are all based on the dream of Star Citizen, and I think we'll get close, but people have imagined a lot in the past 10 years. Yeah, I agree with that. That's the
Absolutely,
thing.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the fair for
That's
me.
a really
It's
good
like,
take, actually. That's a really good take.
It is. You should pin that snizzle. But
That's no, Lefty's absolutely dead on that, because like
yeah,
we all I'm assuming we all want this game to succeed, right? We all want this game to be like the next damn, like quoting Roberts, the next damn best space game. Because like for me personally, I've tried No Man's Sky, I tried Elite, tried other
Mhm.
space games, and I was not a big, like personally, right? Personally, I'm not a big fan of them.
Yep.
While Star Citizen is a broken mess, for some freaking reason, it appeals more to me, and therefore I wanted to succeed, and that's why I still support the project.
I
Like
can
I am,
certainly understand why it does, though. I can
yeah,
understand why
like
it appeals to you.
yeah, like I believe in the dream, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's so frustrating with like the delays, the freaking bugs, the desync and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, for the past 7 years, like it's crazy to think about that. Like when I first heard about server meshing, it's like it's finally becoming a reality now. Like, and like as Lefty said, it probably won't meet every single player's expectations of what it will achieve, but it's still happening.
Well, that's the
So
thing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for it to run where it's like the seamless game, I honestly have a hard time believing that could ever happen. Not anytime soon, at least. Like it's a lot riding on it. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just like imagine there being zero delay and zero jitteriness and with I don't know. It just to me it just sounds very far fetched. Hey, but I certainly hope they could do it. I certainly do.
Does, but even just looking at what they accomplished with 3.24.1, again, tinfoil, I shouldn't have taken it off right away. Um, it they are making progress. I haven't felt a it's so smooth compared to like what we've had with 3.23 and even like 3.22. It feels like they've really been starting to figure out how to optimize, and the more they can, fine tune it and really refine it, like you had said before, Elder, the quicker and the faster they'll, just accomplish those goals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
big tinfoil hat moment there, but I think they are capable. They just need to really have the organization behind it to actually accomplish it.
I'm
Also,
really. Mhm.
oh, sorry. I just wanted to thank I Write Caveman for the follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also just throw it out there, guys. Be sure to jump in and subscribe to the YouTube channel where we do post these. Oh, thank you for the follow, Chorizo. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But yeah, feel free to jump into the YouTube and subscribe to that channel as well. We will replay the full episode. I would expect it to launch tomorrow at noon Eastern.
Yep, typically.
Potentially. Yeah, typically.
Mhm.
And jump into the Discord as well if you want to jump into the call. There's a waiting room and you can do so. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you
No, it's
good. You
okay.
good.
Yeah. So
I'm just I'm just trying to think right now, right? Because like you've heard them say a bunch of times they don't want another 318, right? We don't want a 318 to happen, like stuff like that. But like I'm just like thinking like 4.0 is still going to be a mess.
Mhm.
It
It's
is, but
gonna
I don't think it's going to be 318. Like for
I
example,
think everybody's going in expecting that though. Like
yeah,
nobody has said, yeah, Pyro's going to be a smooth experience,
smooth
Yeah.
or
ride.
like
Yeah,
server meshing is going to be great. It's going to be it's a technical advance. It is going to be a mess at first, and then the further along with patches like point X patches, they'll figure out those issues and clean it up like they have
yeah.
been doing. It's just how
But
it
I
goes.
certainly don't expect that 318. 318, you literally couldn't even log into the game for like the
Oh
first week.
god,
Most
yeah.
people, you know what I mean? It was,
Mhm. It's pretty rough.
and they specifically did say, and I forget who, but CIG did specifically say that 318 was actually a more difficult task than
Yep.
static server meshing would be. So,
Mhm.
and from what we're seeing, right, with the tests, I don't find that to be too far fetched, honestly. Dynamic server meshing, that's a different story.
Yeah,
I
that
think.
one
I
is
think that yeah, that's gonna be something else.
apparently there was a I can't remember I saw it in the video, but somebody was asking CR questions. He was at an event, so some small one, and I'm just trying to remember. Give me one sec. Sorry about that.
Mhm. It's all good.
What
So,
do we want?
I was gonna say, like, with everything that's going on, I think there's a better chance. Again, a lot of hopium here because if we're seeing that progress, it does kind of get people anticipating some kind of really good progress that we're going to see for the community. It's going to be hopefully enough to bring some people that haven't been playing for a long time back, because I feel like right now engagements in the verse, especially because of like lower player count, are one of the reasons it's hard to do like piracy, it's hard to do PvP, it's hard to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I do appreciate. By the way, Lefty, thanks for all your contribution.
All right,
He
sorry
said
about
the most important thing to do is when
Okay.
we experience the next 318 is to get in the issue console and contribute to the bug reports. I agree. I am
Yep.
I am terrible with the reporting. When 318 came out, I did definitely contribute to that though, because it was. But yeah, I'm bad when it comes to reporting. I won't lie. I'm one of the people that came in because I wanted to play a game realistically.
Facts.
You know.
Facts.
Real
It's
talk.
actually crazy. Like how like we come in to play the game, but now we're like, dude, this tech is pretty sick. Like we just
Yeah.
I think a lot of it just kind of like forgot about the vision of just playing the game normally. You know what I mean? Because there is no.
Yeah.
Let's be real. There, at the moment, there's nothing to do besides some cargo missions, just like and then hauling and some FP like basic
Holding
FPS
down an
missions.
OM or something random like that, right?
Right.
It's just. Do you okay? So this is maybe a question for both of you. I'm gonna maybe we wrap up on this one if that's okay with you guys too.
Yeah.
Do you think once they hit those like 1,000 player counts, we're going to start seeing those like choke points a little bit more on servers? Like, say the OMs are going to be the dangerous spot to try and go to get from like point A to point B. Do you think that we're going to start seeing like proper piracy?
I want to say I don't think it's gonna be like I think it will be OM points, but I have a
Mhm.
strong feeling it will be majority of outposts and such because the new quantum travel experience will kick in. Now I
Yep.
have no idea how the snare is gonna
Oh
work
yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
new one,
Good
but
question.
like you don't rely, the OM points would be gone essentially. You don't have to rely on them anymore. You could just
Yep.
loop around the planet from whatever degree of angle you want.
Mhm.
That's up to you. So
Right.
I feel like majority of it would be like the outposts, being like the south, like the Rayos and
SCD1
Wait,
and
wait,
yeah,
wait. At
that,
what
that stuff.
server count are we talking about here, though?
Like
Because
when it
it's
hits
like
about like 500, maybe even like 1,000.
I think Uncle Pork Chops is right. I think
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah,
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna have
I agree
200
with
one up
I kind of
jetpack for.
agree with both of you here, honestly. I feel like,
Yeah.
and I feel like it may migrate, right? You'll see like there will be a hot spot will be at an OM, and then people start shifting the way they fly. They'll be like, oh, that's a hot spot. I'm not going near that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then
It's that
things will start
adaptive like
following.
gameplay, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, but just in general, like that extra traffic would be fucking great. Excuse me, but it'd be
I'd love to
awesome.
see that. No, I'm not worried about it. You can curse all you want.
I'm really curious to see how like in terms of pyro the contested zones with like freaking what like 200 300 people in that area. That'd be crazy.
That'd be insane.
Would
Yeah.
they? It would be.
Zone.
But I'm just trying to imagine how it would run.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of freaking, oh my god,
I'm not doing triple screen with that. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, no, CIG, please, like for like tinfoil to the like 3 tinfoils on me. Please fix the freaking markers when you're in a party with like a shit ton of people. Like you
Oh
just
my
see them all
goodness, I
displayed around
know.
your screen.
It's
Like,
it's hard to track a good fight when you got all these like
so
you got
bad.
markers missing and stuff
So
like
bad, yeah.
that. Yeah,
Mhm.
and then like when we try to like group up with another group and we don't know who everyone is and now we don't have markers, it's just such a mess. So that needs to be fixed for sure.
So I was gonna say earlier today, markers were working pretty consistently, a lot better than when I don't know, last 2 days, like Thursday, Friday, it was really rough. Sometimes we wouldn't see anybody. Sometimes we'd like see 2 people, right?
Oh, hold on
So
here.
it's hard to say.
Hold on here. Mixed snake face, fixed bounty markers. How about fixed bounties? Because I
Fixed
still
bounties.
can't
Yeah.
get bounties in general. So
Yo,
Yep.
even Lefty Orcs 2.0 soon TM.
yeah, right.
Oh my god. It's just
I'm
so
still waiting. I'm still waiting for 1.0. We haven't gotten
Yeah.
that yet.
Oh god. Yeah, I mean even the markers themselves apparently in the meshing test, like they reduce your frame rate when there's a lot of people. But Benoit said that they're working on that for 4.0 to fix it. But even still, like I don't want like if I'm in a party with like 50 people, 40 people, like a whole org, I don't want my screen to be covered with freaking names. Like I want to be able to see. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna approach this. The party
Yeah.
party marker
It's gonna be a
system.
tough one.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the way like my visual like my personal visualization, right? Is rather than having the names displayed, it would be little dots. Like either on
With
their head
like a
or something
number,
like that.
Oh
maybe.
yeah, I see what you're
Like
saying.
can,
pause
like,
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, you can like click, you can like press like a key, whatever, and it'll like display the name in front of you, and then
I
you
mean-
can click that key again, it'll like go away.
They definitely need a more optimized system because like right now it's just like in this even when there's not a whole lot of people, it's hard to scroll through and find certain targets and it's the whole thing is so jank. So yeah, they definitely need to work on that. I mean, but we all know that the UI system is terrible as it is, and this is the improved UI system, isn't it? But
It's one of the first like
yeah.
Yeah, first
The
Yeah.
first iteration
Yeah.
of the first iteration
iteration.
of the first iteration.
first iteration of like making the new like systems, yes, but hopefully they improve it. I just want to.
Stiletto
That's a
just said it.
completely different conversation for another time, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So
I will take
Sorry.
this opportunity, speaking on battles and stuff like that, to
Mhm.
throw out a little advertisement for the org. We're looking to recruit more people. Jump into the Discord, prospect. We want some numbers, and we want to train some actual fleet composition, right? And go out and start killing people. I'm sorry. Wait, is this Twitch gonna ban us for me saying killing people? Stop
That's already been taken off
PvPing
the air.
people.
Hang on, let me
And
grab
I-
my tinfoil. That'll keep them.
I'm not talking. Yeah, I'm not talking about station stomping and sail clubbing. I'm speaking like actual fleet battles and fun stuff like that. So anyway, all right, I'm done. I'm done plugging the org.
Yeah, I was gonna say also, Flaro, thanks for joining us tonight for a little bit of a chat.
FBI.
And it was
Thanks for having
so much fun hanging out with you last week for the server meshing test. If you want to do that again this week,
Oh hell yeah, dude! We're gonna
Just
get the
reach
whole
out to me.
squad.
Hold on.
100%, yeah.
Wait, is it FBI? Open up.
All right.
Could you guys? I don't know if they could hear that. Okay.
Yeah, they can hear it. They can hear it. With
All
that
right,
being
all right.
said,
He gets
I
so
want to
annoyed.
say a special thanks to everyone for joining us tonight on the podcast. Hey, we don't do that. Additional thanks to everyone that
Oh, my
called
bad.
in to the hotline and joined us just in chat with any questions or like really good feedback tonight. It was really good to like have those conversations. And just a reminder that tomorrow's episode is going to be on at about roughly either it's going to be noon or 4 o'clock, depends on like the day and how busy things go. But if you want to check out the VOD, we'll see you then. That
Yeah,
being said, guys,
Thank you for hanging out again. Discord. All right, I'm done. You know what? Whatever.
I got it. Go check out our socials, guys. If you haven't already, I'd appreciate it. We will be back not next week, but maybe 2 weeks. I'll be out next week. We'll figure that out later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, but we may be taking a break next weekend. But that being said, do you guys have somewhere that you want us to raid out to?
Yep.
Is the question.
Let's go find out. I'm gonna take a look at some friends list. I'm gonna close this really quick. Let's see who's on.
Also, I appreciate you guys jumping into the Discord. That's freaking awesome.
That was.
And I guess that's it. We'll wrap it up and we'll raid you
What
guys
about
out.
Murph?
Oh, is Murph? Yeah, give it to Murph. All right.
All right.
With that,
Go check out Murph, guys.
have a good night, guys.
We'll see you guys later. Take care.
Later.